Hi, it's my turn to share some of my favorites of 2020 with you. I'm going to start with The Cold Millions by Jess Walter. One of my all-time favorite books is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. And if you love Steinbeck, you'll love this book. It's a fantastic story of brothers, fascinating historical fiction about the early fight for workers' rights, and it's just written beautifully. So if you're a Steinbeck fan, this is a great choice. Next, we have Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam, and this is so fun and suspenseful. A family has rented a home in the Hamptons, and one night a couple shows up and says it's their home, and they have left New York City because weird goings-on are happening, and we just don't know what's happening. There's no communication. Weird things start happening with animals in the forest, and we just don't know what's going to happen. So what better time to read a pre-dystopia novel than during a pandemic? Really excellent writing. Fantastic. Next is Phil Clay's Missionaries. Phil Clay also wrote Redeployment. So this is set first in Iraq and then in Colombia. So U.S. trained Colombian soldiers are taking what they learned in Iraq and using it against the drug lords in Colombia. Not great stuff. Fascinating book, excellent book. If you have anybody that's interested in military tactics, this is a great book. It might make you feel a little uneasy knowing how the U.S. military might have their dirty little fingers in lots of different pies. Okay, next. This is a fantastic book written pre-pandemic, but about the 1918 pandemic, the Spanish flu, written by The Pull of the Stars, written by Emma Donoghue, who also wrote Room, which is a blockbuster book. This is set in a maternity ward in Dublin, told by the nurse. And not only are these poor women in labor, they're suffering from the Spanish flu, and they have given birth way too many times. This is the story of poverty, but also of hope. It's just beautifully written. I know that it sounds like a whole bunch of horrible stuff, but it's a beautifully written book and fascinating historical fiction. Okay, let's go on to something fun. Oops, I just tipped my book over there. Sorry, banged the camera. Michael Perry. What can be better than Michael Perry? This book is just like him. These are essays. They're charming and witty and fun and sweet and so smart, just like Michael. All the good things about Michael. So I mean, I laughed out loud just reading the blurbs on the back. So it's Michael Perry. What's not to like? Okay, and then I have this beautiful book, The Language of Flowers. So this would be a perfect gift for gardeners or just anybody like me that has a black thumb but still loves flowers. So beautiful illustrations and then just different essays and stories about different varieties of flowers. Just a lovely book, linen cover, which I always love. And then speaking of lovely books, I'm going to switch over to the kids area because I'm the children's books buyer. And this Compendium of Animals by DK is beautifully done. So the illustrations are just gorgeous. And I love books like this because I think it gives kids kind of a jumping off point. So if they find an animal that they're interested in, like a red panda, they might decide to learn more about a red panda, see what else they can learn. So I think it's just a lovely way of introducing kids to many different animals in nature. They did a fantastic job with the gilded cover and pages, and it's a $20 book. Beautiful gift. Okay, speaking of beautiful books, A Polar Bear in the Snow by Mac Barnett and Sean Harris. So the art in this book is just gorgeous. It's torn paper, it's graphite. I mean, just simple lines, and yet you know exactly what that is. Just so, there's one with just snow. Just so clever. Little bit of snarky humor in there because that's always fun. Just a lovely, fun book for the winter. Okay, now here's a very funny book, All About Homonyms, Who knew homonyms would be so funny? So no reading aloud. This is the same crew that brought us P is for pterodactyl. Clever, clever, clever. All homonyms, great, great illustrations to help you understand what's going on. Who knew there were so many homonyms? Who knew the English language was so ridiculously difficult? They did. Okay, then, when I read this book in January, I knew right then that this was going to be one of my favorite books of the year. It's a phenomenal book. Everybody of voting age should read this book. This should be taught in every high school. This is the young adult remix by Jason Reynolds of Ibram Kendi's book Stamped. Fantastic information, so much we didn't know. So I think everybody should read this book. And I have two books that I don't have here because one of them we just sold our last copy. We're getting more, but that is Frederick Bachman's Anxious People. It's just a sweet, beautiful story about what happened. What happened if people were just kind to each other? Somebody gets in a pickle. What if people just were kind to them and helped them through it? So it's hilarious. It is laugh out loud funny. And then my other really favorite book of the year is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, but that's also James's favorite book of the year. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to let James talk about that one, but it's really good. Okay, and then my last one is Skunk and Badger by Amy Timberlake, illustrations by John Clausen. This book is just delightful. It's a curmudgeonly badger who is living in his aunt's house, and unbeknownst to him, his aunt has told Skunk that he can also go live in that house. Badger is not happy. There are geodes, there's breakfast hot chocolate, there are chickens, there are stoats, there's a library. It's charming and funny and heartwarming, and I love it. It's fantastic. And the good folks at Algonquin sent us these prints that we can give to anybody. You don't have to buy that book to get this print. We would just love to share this with you. Just tell us that you'd like a print. A spot of light, a good book, and off I go. So there goes little Skunk into a good book, into a story. So what could be better than that? Happy holidays to all of you. If we can help you find that perfect book, we would love to. So just give us a call, send us an email. We're happy to help you find that perfect book. Thanks.